Our pick for the 2026 World Cup winners is welcome to the World Cup episode of the JCMoseley FC podcast. I'm Elliot. I'm here with Christian as usual. Hey, Christian.
Hey.
And we are again delighted to welcome back Cainan Ming to the podcast. Cainan, it's great to have you.
Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
Of course. Right. Well, let's get straight to it. We're going to talk a little bit about the different continents being represented at the World Cup, and then we're going to kind of go through and do some predictions. So why don't we go ahead and start with the host continent, CONCACAF, and we'll just kind of think about what we think their team's chances are, what maybe the best team in each continent is, and kind of who to look out for. So, Cainan, I think you are our resident CONCACAF expert. So, you wanna take us through your thoughts on that region?
Absolutely. Well, obviously there are some teams to look out for. You have Costa Rica, you have USA, Mexico, Canada, and Haiti. Obviously, we all want to keep a lookout. Haiti, this is their first time in a while, actually, since they played in the World Cup. They kick off against Scotland, which I honestly think they're going to beat them. I think Haiti is going to start the World Cup with a win. The reason why I think that, mostly because the Haitians, they have a point to prove. They're representing CONCACAF, representing the Caribbean, and also the weather. I feel like the weather is on our side. I don't know how much heat the Scottish can handle, so we'll see.
That's a good point.
I'm not gonna lie, it is cold in Scotland.
It's a good point.
Speak from experience.
So I think that's an advantage that many CONCACAF teams are actually going to have in the World Cup too, is just being used to this kind of weather. We're looking. Canada, I think, is the most exciting team. They're the team that has no fear. Like, even in their friendly games, that's the team that they keep a high line. They press you. If you are able to beat their press, you're probably going to find a one-on-one chance with the goalkeeper. But also remember, Canada went all the way to the semifinals in Copa America. So something to keep in mind for is that these Canadians, they're nothing to play with. We'll see what Alphonso Davis does if he is fit enough to play for majority of the tournament. They also have Jonathan David, who's a fantastic striker. Buchanan, who plays a good job on the wing. So Osorio, the list goes on. All right, we also have the power of Mexico. Everyone knows Mexico amongst the world. I'm never, ever going to forget how they defeated Germany after Germany won the World Cup. What's that? 2 World Cups ago? Yeah.
2018, yeah.
Yes, they did. Yep. Oh, man. So, and as we all know, we all live in the United States. If the American fans are not going to throw a party, the Mexican fans will throw a party. So, I think it's going to be great too, because Mexico for a long time, they haven't played in Mexico. A lot of their games have been mostly played in America. So I think it's going to be great for the fans back at home to come out and, actually see like their idols, their players, not only play at home, but like play in the World Cup at home. And then obviously the number one team in CONCACAF, which I know I'm not wearing the jersey, but it's USA. Do you believe that we will win? I believe we will win.
Yeah.
USA, I think my hopes are high. My expectations are, maybe I have to relax a little bit, but I'm expecting them to at least go to the quarterfinals. I'm expecting it. I saw the last game they played. The first half, Senegal didn't know what hit them. Second half, they had a much better half. But
the funny thing is that, again, about that game is that Senegal played the B team. So I don't know if anybody noticed that. So like Edouard Mendy wasn't in the goal sticks, like the main defenders went out there. But just say.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point, but we'll see. USA. I mean, I think the highest expectation of CONCACAF is on USA. They're the team that has made, they're the self-proclaimed kings of CONCACAF. And yes, you could win the Gold Cup when you're playing against the small Caribbean nations, but I think the big question for USA is, can they finally go out there and beat actual soccer or footballing nations? Can they beat bigger teams in Europe? Can they beat bigger teams in Africa? Can they beat the bigger teams in South America? In the Copa
Hmm.
America, we couldn't. We could not beat the bigger teams in South America. So the whole reason why we got Poch was so we could beat these teams. So if not going to the quarterfinals for the USA, in my opinion, is a failure. And I think many other American fans would agree with that.
Mm.
We want to thank our sponsor, Bill's Treasury App. Bill's Treasury App is an application that allows people to track, manage, and pay the bills in one location. So it's simple to use. It's free to download. You're able to add your bills on the application. You get reminders when they are due, and then you just stay on top of them. It allows you to better manage your finances and improve your credit score significantly. It's available on the App Store and Google Play for free. You can download with a QR code that you see on your screen for free. So we want to thank Bill's Treasury App for the sponsorship.
Yeah, we'll get to kind of looking at the groups and more predictions later, but appreciate you giving us your thoughts on CONCACAF. Christian, you want to give us your thoughts on the African nations at this World Cup and kind of what you're expecting, what you're looking out for?
Yeah, for the first time, there will be 10 African teams at the World Cup. So I'm very excited to have so many representations. The previous editions, we had 5 teams. So, from 5 to 10 is a huge boost for us. And like the biggest teams will be there: Egypt, South Africa, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Tunisia, Cape Verde, DR Congo. So they'll all be there. And I think this year I really fancy at least one African team in the semifinal again. I'm gonna predict one African team in the semifinal, and I'm gonna predict that 8 out of 10 will make it to the next round. 8 out of 10 teams, and the reason I'm saying that is because African football has grown over the years. There's more investment, and I really see it over like the quality of football that we have in the tournament. I don't know, like the AFCON is very entertaining. It's more entertaining than a lot of competitions we have out there. So I'm very excited. We also have really good players. I almost said Shakira. Ashraf Hakimi. And then we have Brahim Diaz. We have, I don't know if you guys know Yao Diomande from Ivory Coast, or Amad Diallo from Manchester United. We have really good players, and and again, Cainan might not agree with me on this, but I really think after the Europeans, then the South Africans, I think it's the Africans. I really think so. I think like CONCACAF only has 2 good teams. No offense to any other teams. I'm not gonna lie. That's just me being obvious there.
Yeah.
Mexican, USA, but other than that, like African team, we have so many good teams, so much talent. I really think we, after the South Africans and the Europeans, we have the best players, in the history. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you look at everything, it's becoming from Africa after the Europeans and the South Africans. So I have a lot of hope for this World Cup. I really believe that African teams have a point to prove to the world that we're getting there. We're getting closer to the South Americans and the Europeans. So I'm very excited for this World Cup. I'm gonna be cheering for every single African team, and I hope that every single one of them will make us proud.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. 100. I mean, you now see a lot of these European teams sending scouts over to to the African countries to get these 13 and 12-year-olds. I mean, like the talent in Africa, I just, CAF needs a World Cup. I think, I think they've put too much like talent in, not just in European soccer, but like all over the world. You have these guys killing it down there in South American leagues. They're killing it in Major League Soccer. Obviously, they're killing it in Europe. We could all name we could all name 10 fantastic African players. So I mean, I would yeah, I'll be very surprised if an African team doesn't make it to the semifinals. You know, if I'm picking the one, I hope it's Senegal. I really hope Senegal goes all the way.
Me too.
Nico Jackson.
Let's just hope that this don't like walk out off the field again like they did in the AFCON final. And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw the rules. I know we're gonna talk about it in a little bit, but they have new rules where if any player that walks off the field for as a protest against the referee gets a red card automatically. So the whole team would get a red card, and that'll be pretty much it, which is a good thing. And then also they'll have some rules where you can, if like the play, you know how players whenever they insult each other, they like cover their mouth and stuff. Apparently, you get a red
Yeah,
card if you do that. So there's
yeah,
gonna be some crazy rules, and also like throw ins, you have like 5 seconds, or it goes to the other team, and then also for no tactic. You know, whenever like a team is always attacking, about to score a goal, and the goalkeeper just was like, "Oh my god, my leg hurts," and pretend that their leg hurts. And so there'll be other rules like offside. You know, you have to like get off the field within a few seconds, otherwise the player has to wait a minute outside.
hmm.
So we'll see
Yes,
how it works out.
I like that rule. I love that rule because
Yeah.
they do it in MLS, and then the players don't do it anymore. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they might forget, but at least in MLS, it's not completely got rid of the time wasting, but it's definitely improved it from that front.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely cracked down on it for sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move to South America, shall we? CONMEBOL.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They, as always, got some of the teams that are tipped to be favorites. Who are we looking out for the most?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I'm excited for Brazil. I mean, and I think everybody, it's when you really think about it, I mean, Brazilian soccer is just like everybody. You don't have to be from Brazil, but you respect them enough to like wish them all the best. But I mean, the players that they have, especially going forward, Vinicius, we'll see if he could bring out his Real Madrid form. I think Brazil's got a pretty good shot. Endrick, he's a very good striker. I know he's a young. We'll see if he can play at that the big level. I am not big level, sorry, at the big stage, World Cup stage. I'm a little disappointed, not little, I'm very disappointed that Esteval got injured. Um, I still think he would have been the tournament's favorite player, but there's 4 years he'll be back. He'll be a better player by then too. But
He's
so
18
I'm
years
on,
old too, by the way.
yeah.
So he's so young.
Unfortunately, they left João Pedro. I really was surprised about that. I overall I think João Pedro has been a better player than Cunha has. Um, I think with Manchester United, they've played very much counter-attacking football throughout the season. I don't see Brazil doing that. Brazil's going to have the ball, and it may be better. I thought they would have been better to go with a striker like João Pedro, who's used to playing in tight spaces, because that's every single Chelsea game. That's what happens. You park a bus and you need João Pedro to fight. So it'll be interesting. I see why they took Neymar. It's the same reason why Argentina takes Messi, the same reason Portugal takes Ronaldo. You got to have your superstar players. The team looks up to them. They idolize them. I think having Neymar on the field is gonna raise the excitement in the crowd. So you get that 12th person on the field, if you want to call it that. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Brazil, and we'll see what they can do.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Christian? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm very disappointed with João Pedro. Not because he's a Chelsea player, but also because I think he deserves to be there. He was obviously Chelsea didn't have a great season, but I really think that he deserves to be there. And then also, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, but Neymar, apparently he's still injured and he's gonna miss the first 2 games at least of the tournament. And I know he's a legend and what he's given to the game, but like I don't think he deserves to be called up. And I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for it, but this is my opinion again. I just think that João Pedro deserved to be there before him, and yeah. But other than that, South America is stacked. They have Argentina, Brazil. But they also have Colombia, they have Ecuador. So we'll see. I'm expecting the South American teams to. There'll definitely be at least one in the semifinal for sure, even potentially the final. But we also have to be worried about the Europeans, of course. The Europeans have won out of the last 5. I think they won 4 of them. So we'll see what happens.
I think Argentina, out of all the South American teams, are kind of like the betting odds. They're the favorites to go the furthest. But we'll have to see how it pans out. Should we take a look at the Asian teams? I think
before we do that, just it would be very interesting to see how Argentina does, especially because, and just from an MLS point of view, 2 of their players are MLS players in DePaul and Messi. So it's going to be interesting because I know the last time Messi came for a World Cup, he was coming from PSG, the European Champions League and all that. Now he's going into it with MLS and a CONCACAF Champion League, and obviously MLS is not to the level of European top leagues yet. So it's going to be interesting to see like how he slides into that team. Can he still keep up to the pace of those higher players and whatnot? It's going to be interesting. So, and the same thing for the players coming from Saudi Arabia. So, be interesting.
Sure. Absolutely. So why don't we go ahead and talk about some of the Asian teams? We can include New Zealand as an Oceania team, like Oceania, Asia in there together. I think if I'm looking at this, I think probably the strongest contender for the Asian Confederation is Japan. I would have thought. I think they have probably one of the more well-rounded squads. They've got players with experience. They've also got some young, exciting players. I think they, looking at the group that they're in too, I think I would predict that they'll get out of the group at least. So yeah, I think they'll be one to look out for. I think South Korea also going to be good. I mean, Heung-min Son is still he's not quite the player that he once was, but he's still a great leader and a great forward, and he's somebody with World Cup experience too that could kind of galvanize that team a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I think that other than Japan, I mean, we also have to be careful the Middle Eastern countries. You have Saudi Arabia that beat Argentina in the last World Cup. So we're gonna try to go a little bit further. I really think there'll be some dark horses in this World Cup. So you have Iraq, you have Iran. I think they have a big point to prove. Imagine, guys, I'm just very unlikely that it happens. Imagine Iran wins the World Cup. Just imagine that. And guess what? Trump is gonna have to give the cup to the Iranians.
I would definitely be on every documentary forever.
That would break the internet. Wow. Imagine he's getting the American World Cup to the Iranians. That would be crazy.
It would be kind of funny on some level, yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I think the Asian teams are doing pretty good. Usually Japan always go to the round of 16, at least, and South Korea too. So, but I'm not expecting them to go. Yeah, I'm not expecting them to go past the round of 16. That'll be my opinion on that confederation. I don't see anyone. Oh, Australia too technically is in the Asian Confederation, but I don't. Yeah, I don't see them going far. Like any of the teams going far.
Australia is always good for a good shock now and then. That's one thing about Australia. I just hope that shock isn't against they play USA, right? Yes, they do.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Australia probably got one of the more difficult groups. It's going to be a struggle for them, but.
So I'm curious to see how Saudi Arabia does. A big part of the investment that they were able to, they obviously have been spending millions in getting the European players, but they've also been spending millions in their development programs, at their academies, at the training facilities all around the country. So it's going to be interesting to see how much of it has paid off. Obviously I'm not saying Saudi Arabia is going to win the thing, but can we find some new superstar talent that we haven't seen before? Can they excite us? The same as Qatar as well. They took much of that World Cup money and invested it into their homegrown players. So very curious to see how that looks out. And Saudi Arabia, they're sort of hoping that their league, what's it called? Called the Saudi Pro League. They're sort of hoping that their league does something similar, like what MLS has done in America, which is push more interest and more players playing,
Yeah,
more
well, and of
professional
course,
academies. Yeah.
yeah, I was going
So
to say too. Of course,
Exactly.
Saudi's hosting the 2020, not sorry, the 2034 World Cup as well. So they kind of have that in their sights too, kind of developing their league. And I think a lot of the players named in their squad for this World Cup are based in Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure there's many players in that team that play outside the league, but a lot of those players are having the likes of Ronaldo, Joao Felix, Sadio Mane, some of these like superstars that have played in Europe coming to that league and raising the level of the league and raising their level. So it will be interesting to see how they do for sure. All right. Well, I think the only other confederation that we have left to talk about is UEFA, who have the most places at this World Cup, as they usually do. I'd love to be optimistic about my home country, and I'd love to say England's going to win the World Cup, but I really don't believe that is true. I don't think we are in as good of a position as we were 2 years ago at the Euros. I think some of the squad decisions that Thomas Tuchel made are a little confusing in some sense.
Yes.
And there's definitely a sense of there's been an expectation from England fans over the last few years. I mean, everyone knows it's coming home, and people saying that all over the place, but I haven't really heard people say that very much this year. And I don't think that there's as much optimism as there has been. I definitely was very surprised that both Cole Palmer and Phil Foden were left out. I did think that at least one of them was going to be in the squad. I think they just kind of offer something a little bit different. Even if you're not going to start them, they just offer something a little different off the bench. And I mean, obviously, I'm slightly biased as a Chelsea fan. I definitely would have taken Cole Palmer, though. I mean, and I think he's already shown that he can produce on the biggest stages in those big games. I mean, he scored in the Euro final. He's scored in the Club World Cup final against PSG. I mean, he's definitely somebody that can raise his game for those moments. I'm also very surprised that Harry Maguire was left out of the squad too. I think as somebody who has had a decent season with Man United and he has a lot of experience with the England national team, he's one of the veteran players in and around that group. He's got tournament experience. He can pop up with a header from a corner every now and then. I mean, I remember his penalty at the Euro 2020 final where he destroyed the camera in the net in the penalty shootout against Italy. So I don't know. I think just having a player that has that tournament experience is crucial. And maybe he wouldn't start, but I'm kind of surprised that he didn't get picked. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold is the other one that I think maybe is a little. I could see both sides of it because he was played kind of more as a midfielder at the Euros and it didn't really work out, and then he ended up going to the bench. And but I also think he also is another one of those that can offer a little bit of a different approach off the bench if you need it. And yeah, I don't know, but I that's my thoughts on the England squad. What do you guys? I guess first, what do you guys think about that?
I'm with you. I mean, I actually, when you actually have the hardest group to get out of when you look at it from a USA point of view and an Ivory Coast point. I mean, you have to play Ghana, You have to also play Croatia. And who's the other? I think you have to
Panama is the
play
other team.
Panama. Yeah. And again, and Panama's the last one that you have to play against. So if you're in a situation where you're desperate, I don't know. I mean, I'll say this. There's a difference between coaching club and coaching international. And I think with your national team, the reason why you see a lot more surprises is because I feel like there's a lot more pride. It's not so much as always tactics and tactics and tactics, but it's more to do with like your passion. You're getting out there, you're working hard, you're running for as hard as you can. It's more about your the fight and stuff that you have for your country. And my fear is Thomas Tuchel picked a team where he can really just use like tactics, tactics. How do we break this team down? How do you do this? And just like how you do it at club soccer and all that. But him not taking your better players, so your Cole Palmers, who can unlock a defense if Jude Bellingham can't do it that day. Yet your Phil Foden who could come in on the right side or even on the left side. Yes, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he may not be. I'm not saying he's the same. He's definitely not the same quality as Reece James as a right back. When it comes to defending. But Reece James has also proven he could play as a center back. He could play as a midfielder. I'm sure he could play as a striker. Give him his set of gloves. I'm sure he could play as a goalkeeper.
Right.
So but Trent Alexander, he's one of the best players. He's one of the best players in the world, and again, it goes back. What is the World Cup? It raises when you see your favorite players go on the field, you get more excited. I'm never going to forget there was one game where Brazil was playing Ivory Coast and Brazil was winning 3-0 at the time, right? This was near Drogba's like end of his career, so he was more stepping on the field as a sub. He came onto the field and for like the last 30 minutes and all you heard was like the crowd screaming for 30 minutes straight because that's what players like that do. They raise that excitement in the crowd. I don't know. I just think some of the players that he's bringing, when it's time to make substitutions, you're not going to get that same excitement, unfortunately. And we'll see. I mean, Ghana's no joke. Croatia is no joke. So I
I
don't
mean,
know,
yeah,
Elliot.
you
We'll
have a
see
big
what
point
happens.
there, Cainan. I agree with you on that. And it's kind of the stuff that's the coach. I mean, that's one of the reasons why they brought him in. If you think about it, because people were always complaining they would always bring Harry Maguire, the same players, and then England ever wins the World Cup. So imagine if he works out.
Yeah,
We'll not even be. Oh, I guess he was right. So, I mean, Tuchel, is a great coach. I still think like letting Alexander Arnold. I heard. Okay, that's just I heard that he's dating his ex girlfriend, Alexander Arnold's ex girlfriend.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel. Isn't he
Yeah.
too old? He's not married?
Oh, no, he divorced his wife a few years ago. So that's what I've seen online. I kind of do some research, and I don't know if that's the truth or not. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. But also like Phil Foden, I know he didn't have a great season, but talent wise, and Cole Palmer, especially Cole, I was very surprised with Cole Palmer. I really thought
I
that he would
was
still
too.
bring him in, even if he's not a starter, he can be like on the bench, and go in. I think that would be really good. So, but
yeah.
you know,
I don't know. I've also seen Thomas Tuchel win the Champions League with Kai Havertz and Timo Werner up front, so he's
Yeah.
earned some credit in the bank for me in terms of, I trusting his decision making. But I guess we'll have to see how it goes. In terms of the rest of Europe, I think probably are we in agreement that France and Spain are probably the ones that
Probably
are
too.
likely to go the
And Portugal.
furthest, and maybe Portugal as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
guys,
would
I'm
say
gonna.
I would say this. I think this is obviously Ronaldo's last. Let me not say obviously. Knowing him, he will come back in another 4 years.
Nah.
But this has to be his last one. And the story of the last World Cup was the Argentinian players came together. to give Messi his World Cup. Can the Portuguese player do the same thing? Like Ronaldo is an icon of not just soccer, but like sport. He's up there with like the Michael Jordans and the Pele. He's always going to be remembered as, one of the greatest athletes of all time. So, Port if there is one European team that I would like to see win a World Cup, it would be Portugal, just for Ronaldo, and the other Portuguese players too, and Neto, Pedro Neto,
Yes.
those two. But yeah, I think those three countries outside of England are, probably, and maybe Germany too, depending on how they start off. I think they had a pretty good friendly the other day.
Yeah, I think Germany is definitely one that could surprise some people. Obviously, they've kind of underperformed a little bit at the last few tournaments, but I do think they're stronger now than they were a couple of years ago. Okay, cool. Well, why don't we just take a quick break here, and then when we come back, we can go ahead and fill out the bracket, make our predictions.
All right.
All right, we are back, and we're going to be looking at predictions for the groups for the round of 32. Going to go fill out a bracket together as a trio here. So, for those that maybe you missed it, Christian and I had kind of talked through each group and predicted how we thought they were all going to go and how we thought the fixtures were going to go, and then we kind of made a joint. We agreed on kind of a joint prediction so that we can kind of have a consensus as a podcast. So before we kind of go through the knockout rounds, though, do you guys have any that you notice off the top here, kind of going through each group, which you think maybe we should adjust? So Group A, we had Mexico, Korea, Czechia, South Africa as the order for the for that group. You guys happy with that?
We did?
Mm-hmm.
Really? I think I put South Africa second on that one. But I mean, we're making a joint decision here. So
I think it is going to be close between South Korea and South Africa for second and third.
Okay.
But yeah, we could.
What do you think? Should we move South Africa up to second?
Let's put South Africa third. I think that's something we can all agree on, right?
Yeah, I think third.
Yeah. Okay.
I like how we all agree Mexico is going to win it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna go 3-on-3 on this one. Honestly,
I think
it's all in there. Yeah.
Oh, guys, I think we forgot to mention the great. What's his name? The goalkeeper, Ochoa. Guillermo Ochoa. Can you believe that this guy, just like he sucks for 3 years, and when it's a World Cup year, he just becomes Oliver Kahn or Neuer or something for a few months, and it's like, okay, you know what? Let's pick him up. And he goes at the World Cup, and he just great saves, and he's not playing home. I mean, he deserves to be selected, honestly, like for what he's done for Mexican football, and be there like in his home country, and perform. I think would be great, right? For him.
Absolutely.
I can't wait.
Okay, you guys have any issues with Group B?
Yeah, no. I mean, no, I don't. Canada, I think it's going to be between Switzerland and Canada. I still think Canada's going to beat Switzerland just because Canada, same reason, they have the home, that home factor. I mean, like I said, the Canadians, they were very proud of their team, so I think the Canadians are going to go all out for them in the stadium. I think they're playing in Toronto, so that's just but still, I mean, I think obviously it's down to those two getting out the group. Haven't seen enough from Qatar to convince me otherwise yet.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is that the sad part is that not the sad part, but the thing that happened is that Italy would have been in that group, and then Toronto. I don't know if you guys know, they have 1 million Italians living in Toronto. That would have been basically a home game for them. So that's kind of sad, but that would have been great for them. But now we have Switzerland, Canada, and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah. Group C. I'm wondering if we should move Haiti.
I still think they're going to beat Scotland. I think it's going to be that weather, the heat. I mean, the Haitians got something to prove.
I
And
really
it's
think so.
Juneteenth
I
that
think I'm
day.
gonna agree with Cainan here. I think Haiti. I think people are gonna. I mean, I don't see them beating Brazil or Morocco, but I think they can beat Scotland and maybe a draw. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put them on third as third.
If that's
Yeah.
one group, if that's one country they're gonna look at to say we can get points from, is gonna be Scotland. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Group
I love
D,
Group D. I love it.
USA on top, Turkey is second, Paraguay third, Australia fourth. I think that probably
Yeah,
I
happy with
mean,
that.
if you guys are happy with that, I mean, I would put Turkey here as first. Cainan, I'm sorry,
well,
I don't have a lot of
USA's
faith in
got
Team
the
USA. Turkey, like those guys, they're warriors. And last time they played at the World Cup was in 2002, so they have a huge point to prove here to be there. So I'll
us
put them
true.
first, but I don't know about you guys.
I mean,
I probably,
this is
I probably,
USA's World Cup, so they have to like I said, the players, the everyone, the expectation is always that the home country at least wins the group. Qatar didn't do it the last one, and look what happened. We all laughed at them. These USA players, they know if they do not get out of the group, it's not just like they're not just hurting the team, they're hurting like soccer in the country.
Hmm.
So, it's a lot for them riding on. But I mean, regardless, they're both going to get out. I'll be very surprised if Turkey and USA don't get out.
Hmm.
I think it could be close either way. I do feel like maybe having the home advantage might be the slight edge that they need to kind of
Yeah.
get them top. So maybe we leave that one as is, if we're good with that. Here's the rest of the groups. So Group E:
Really?
Germany, Cote d'Ivoire, Ecuador, and Curacao.
That's good, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think, in my opinion, I think Cote d'Ivoire is going to win that group and Ecuador is going to come second. Just because, if I'm really
Yeah.
honest, Ecuador's they call them the dark horse in South America. I don't know if y'all paid attention to what happened down there. They did a great job through qualifications. And Moises Caicedo, that's his team. He's not restricted like he is at Chelsea with Rustini telling him that he can go anywhere he wants. I don't know. And the Germans, I don't know. They haven't been looking good in these big tournaments recently. So I don't know. I'm sort of putting them in the category of like Italy. Like, who are you again?
All right, so maybe, yeah, I mean, it sounds like maybe we want to move Germany down to third, even potentially.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah. I
think,
mean,
Christian? I don't know.
I mean, I think this order is pretty good to me, but as long as you guys see Cote d'Ivoire in the top two, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like Germany are stronger than they've been before. I know they have struggled in these major tournaments, but I'd be surprised if that happens again. I do think this is one of those groups, and we'll get to this more in a minute. But I think this is one of those groups where the best third place team will go through as well.
I think so too.
So I think of those top three, that they're all probably going to go through.
I would
Group
say this
F,
though, Germany is expected to be top of this group. So I know the people back home they're expecting Germany to win this group. So
yeah.
we'll see.
Group F, we had Netherlands, Tunisia, Japan, and Sweden.
Pretty much.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Yep, I think I'm happy with that. That looks like
Okay.
a good group.
Group G: Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
That'll be
Egypt
nice.
might be first. I think Belgium, I don't know, Belgium isn't, Belgium, what they used to be, but I think it's pretty good.
Okay. Group H: Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde. I think that seems pretty much what we'd
Yeah,
expect.
pretty much.
So Group I, I think this is one that's going to be interesting: France, Senegal, Norway, and Iraq.
Yeah.
How
Hard to
do we
argue
feel
against
about that one?
France. Yeah, it's hard to argue against France winning the whole thing actually, but their squad is so deep. And I think Senegal's an amazing team. So there's no way they're not going to go through, at least in the top two. So yeah, I mean, I think it's between Norway and Iraq for third place. Iraq's a very good team. I know Norway has Holland on it, but I think Iraq is also coming with a point to prove as well too. So
Sure. Group J, we have Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan in that order.
yep,
Happy with that, Christian?
Yeah,
yep.
that sounds good.
Okay. Group K, Portugal, Colombia, DR Congo, and Uzbekistan. I think that feels.
Yeah, we'll see. Colombia is going to be a tough one against Portugal. We'll see.
Yeah. And then finally, Group L, we had England on top, Croatia second, Ghana third, and Panama fourth.
Croatia for me is going to be interesting because I haven't. We'll see because the heart of Croatia is that midfield. Modric and Kovacic, and so we'll see if they can still perform at that level. Because again, Ghana is no joke. And Panama is also coming with this the CONCACAF World Cup. Panama's coming with the point to prove. So yeah, I mean, I think it looks good, but I don't think it's going to be walk in the park for England and Croatia. I think all of those games in that group is going to be very close.
I agree. I think it's going to be some tough close games.
Yeah.
Okay, so looking at the best third place teams, I'm just going to deselect all of these for right now, and then we can kind of go through. So we got to pick 8 of these 12 that would be the best third place teams to advance. Are there any that you guys immediately think we should just pick without question?
Probably, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi
I'm
Arabia.
sorry, Saudi, but
no way, I think.
No.
Well, yeah, I think
Yes,
Norway.
Norway, Saudi Arabia.
I'm trying to find a way to keep Haiti in there.
I think Japan. I think Ecuador.
Ecuador for sure.
Ghana.
Let's do DR Congo. How about you? I mean, we have
I
to
think
pick
I think DR Congo is not as strong as Ghana. And I actually maybe Paraguay is, but let's see. How many do we have left? Do we need to select 8?
We have to leave 2. Right.
Oh, we have to leave 2.
We have to,
right?
we have to
Did
do
I-
8
Yep.
total, yeah.
Oh,
so
8,
we've got
so no,
5
never
selected
mind.
currently.
Yeah,
Should
we have 3 more.
Did we want to do Ghana as well?
Yeah, let's do Ghana.
Okay. So that leaves two
Bosnia.
more out of these. Bosnia?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have picked Algeria, but I think Paraguay, right? Cainan, you wanna?
Yeah,
CONMEBOL team there?
I just think Haiti's gonna have the country is the island's not doing so good right now. I just think they're gonna have this is gonna be a miracle. This is gonna be a miracle thing for them. Like what Iceland did a few years ago. I don't know. I just see Haiti doing something special. Maybe I'm also biased because it's a Caribbean team and we don't get to see them that much. So
I don't know about you, Christian. I'm happy to put Haiti in, but I think I would go with either Algeria or Paraguay as one of the others.
I'm gonna go with Algeria. I would have picked Algeria and South Africa, but it's a group thing. So I would pick Algeria because I really believe this year is gonna be an African World Cup, guys. I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. So we have one more team to pick, right?
Yes.
I'll let you guys decide because you already got all the African teams in there.
Should we full send it and do? You don't want to full
send
it?
How about Bosnia? Is Bosnia a good
Haiti
team?
for the rogue prediction?
Yeah, let Haiti go through. I think I think Bosnia or Paraguay. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
From those two, I'd pick Paraguay. So let's do that.
Yeah.
Although I do think you could be right about Haiti, though. I think they could be a rogue shout for that. But cool. Yeah, okay. So we'll just kind of run through these quickly. So that would be round of 32 fixtures: Korea versus Canada. Who do we think's going to be winning that one?
Canada.
I think Canada. They're a very strong team, and yeah.
I would have thought so too. Germany, Norway.
Deutschland.
Yeah, probably Germany in this situation.
I think so too. Netherlands, Morocco. Oh, that's a tough one.
Ooh, wow.
I go with Morocco,
Morocco.
guys.
Morocco. Sorry, Hato. I love Hato though.
I would lean towards Morocco as well. I mean, you know, they got to the
They have the
semi-finals
experience.
last World Cup. They're a great team. Brazil, Tunisia.
Yeah,
I
probably
think we got to go
Brazil.
Brazil, right?
Brazil. Sorry,
Neymar
Tunisia.
hat trick that game.
La France.
France and Saudi Arabia. I think that one's a fairly easy one.
Yeah. Who knows? Well, we'll see. Saudi may have a little money in the bank.
They got some bribes.
Good thing it doesn't work that way. They can't just like get Ronaldo on the team, you know.
That's true.
Oh my God! Wait! You got to tell me that. How does that happen? Is it because they both finish second?
I think
that
so.
would break the internet.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal.
Cote d'Ivoire.
I know. Okay, who's got more Chelsea players?
Ivory Coast, obviously. Like, look at the history of Drogba. Come on.
That is true. That is true.
Come on, you have to pick Ivory Coast.
I know, but can you imagine seeing Imagine Nico Jackson coming back into the to the Chelsea dressing room and just be like, "You guys, who went the furthest in the World Cup?"
That'd be funny. Oh, by the way, guys, I want to say that Cote d'Ivoire is the best bet here because Senegal, believe it or not, Senegal has never beaten Ivory Coast in any international tournament. Yeah, ever.
Really?
Not even once. Yeah, you can look it up. We've always beaten them. So every time Ivory Coast in friendlies and stuff, or maybe how you call it, qualifiers possibly, but in the tournament, never. So we're always beating Senegal. So don't worry, you're on the right.
I'm
side
going
of
Cote
history right there.
Yeah,
I think
my favorite players from Ivory Coast, so that's where I'm going for them. So
Didier Drogba.
There you go.
I think because Christian, it's your home country, we have to full send it, and we have to back the boys to do it.
You gotta do it, guys. Yep.
Mexico against Japan. I'm thinking Mexico probably.
I'm thinking Mexico too.
I'll go with Mexico here. I think Mexico's gonna easily beat Japan.
Oh boy, England versus Ecuador. Now, I think if this is what that fixture is going to be, I think this is going to be a really tough one for England.
I'll back England.
I still have to back my team. I think we could.
I think England will have enough.
But
it's going to be close.
It's a tough one.
It's going to be close, but England will have enough.
If they lose here, guys, Tuchel needs to go.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever gonna be able to go to London ever again. Like, people are gonna.
Tuchel will just stay in the U.S. He'll just stay in America.
People were calling him the German traitor. The German, like the German spy. Like, people just implement like Germany, like, got him to mess up their World Cup. That's what I'm saying. But
yeah,
I'll back England here, guys.
Tuchel will come work for the Timbers. That's how. Since he's in the country, just fly over to Portland.
So definitely be an upgrade on Phil Neville, that's for sure. USA DR Congo.
USA should probably win that if that was to happen.
What do you think, Christian?
I'll go with USA.
Okay.
Yeah, I think USA will get it done.
Cool.
Belgium and Ghana.
Go Belgium.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ghana's one of those teams where it's like if they have a good day, it's a good day. But I don't know. I feel like they have maybe Belgium probably.
Courtois is back, by the way, in the Belgian team as the goalkeeper. So that'll make a huge difference, guys.
I think Belgium probably would be the favorite, so it's probably the safe pick. Spain against Austria. Do we even need to discuss that one?
Probably Spain. Yeah, Spain.
Yeah, that'll be a thrashing.
Switzerland, Algeria.
I'll go with Algeria, honestly. I don't know.
I think I'll back Switzerland, and I know it's like, as African, I should be supporting my teams, but I think.
What do you think?
If that's the team. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm leaning more towards Switzerland. I know I probably have a bit more of a European bias, but I also think I think so, yeah. Algeria,
the reason is because go ahead.
I was going to say, like, Algeria have had some good players in recent years, but it's not quite at the same level as some of the other African nations. I do think this I don't know. That's just kind of my gut feeling.
Yeah.
So, sorry,
The
Christian, what were you
Swiss
going to say?
have a lot of experience. I know they have a World Cup experience, and I know people don't really care, they don't understand, but we both know as football people that experience matters at the World Cup. Like I don't know why it's just a team with experience has like Switzerland is like regularly at this level, and I don't see
Yeah.
Algeria beating them if they meet each other. Unfortunately for
Yeah.
Okay,
Africa, but yeah,
we'll go Switzerland. Okay, Argentina versus Uruguay. That could potentially be tricky, but I still think
Argentina,
Argentina will have enough.
Argentina.
Lionel Messi.
It's gonna be. I mean, don't get me. Uruguay is a very good team, but they run a lot. That team, they run a
Mhm.
lot. So who knows what the fitness level is gonna be at this part of the tournament?
Yeah. Portugal, Paraguay. I think probably
Yeah.
Portugal.
Portugal. Yep.
Yeah. Team Ronaldo.
Um, Turkey and Croatia.
Probably Croatia.
Turkey. Yeah.
Hmm.
How'd you go? I think
I think
it's an aging team, honestly, Croatia. So that's why I won't go with them.
I think that's kind of what I was thinking too. I mean, there's no doubt that this Croatia team are just kind of always, in the last few years, they've just kind of always shown up.
Yeah.
But the core of those teams are definitely getting older.
Yeah.
I could see this being one that maybe is decided on penalties. Honestly, I think I would probably lean more towards Turkey as well. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go with that.
Let's do it.
And then the last round of 32, Egypt and Colombia. That's another tough one.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta be honest. I gotta give Colombia to this one. Colombia. I mean, the World Cup, they turn up. That's one thing about Colombia. And they fear
Yeah,
no superstars. They broke Neymar's back.
it's true. Um, Egypt. I mean, Egypt do have some good players. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Salah's not been at his best, obviously, the last year or so. But I think this is probably his last World Cup, so he could show up. But
Also
I
got
don't know.
Diaz for Colombia. Diaz did a pretty good job at Bayern Munich. So, what do you
Yeah,
think, Christian?
that's a good point.
I'll go with Egypt. I'll back it. My Egyptians Egypt is have a really good team. They did a really good job at the AFCON, the last AFCON. They went to the
That's true.
semifinals, and I'm just gonna back my Egyptians. And I think it's Mo Salah's last World Cup, so he's gonna have a point to prove. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'll back my African brothers.
Yeah.
Egypt.
Okay. Well, let's do it. Let's back Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that leaves us with these round of 16s. Oh my word. Germany against France. Wow. I mean,
La France.
France surely I think would be the favorites there. That would be a great game, but
Yeah, that'd be really good to watch
definitely.
for sure.
Canada and Morocco.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun game to watch, but I think Canada's going to leave a lot of space to run behind. That's just how they play.
They're going home.
But I think it'll be a fun. I think these two teams played in the last World Cup, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
Canada actually did a very good job against them. So I don't think it'll be easy, but I think Morocco would take that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Happy with that, Christian?
Yeah, I think Morocco for sure is gonna go too.
I think so too. Brazil, Cote d'Ivoire. Oh no, Christian.
That's the end of the road. The end of the road. I think we're gonna have maybe a good 3-1 or 3-2. I don't think we're gonna get a thrashing, but I don't see it being Brazil. That's the end of the road. I'll be really proud. Round of 16. That's good.
Yeah.
Mexico and England. Wow. And that's a tough one.
I think this really depends. I think it really depends on where this game is. If it's in Mexico or like the southern United States or even Cali, even the Midwest, you heavily favor. I think not heavily favor. I think the weather is going to be more in Mexico's favor. If it's in Canada, England might have a little bit better. I don't know. That's a hard one because it's what we said earlier. It's England didn't really bring all the superstar players with them. So when you look at it from like a Mexican point of view, it's like, oh well, we focus on this player, focus on this player. However, I'll probably give it to England just because of the experience that they have at that level. They got definitely have more players who play at a higher level, but I don't think it'll be a. I don't think it'll be a. I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah, I feel like I've got to back England here as well. I mean, I do think this will be a difficult one, especially if it is in Mexico or the southern United States, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
I'll go with England too. I think Chema Tuchel will find a way to beat the great Mexican team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Spain against Switzerland.
The end of the road for the Swedes.
Yeah, Spain's got this.
USA versus Belgium. I feel like this could be maybe a controversial one.
I think. I think the pancakes will beat the waffles. Yeah, I think if this was to happen, Belgium isn't the same Belgium that it used to be, that it was. I think USA, especially if their better players are still fit and healthy, I think a midfield of McKennie and Tyler Adams would be strong enough to defend against any Belgium attacks and go forward. Plus, USA also has a point to prove from the last time that they played against each other. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased towards USA, but I think if USA was to get this far in this tournament, I think it will definitely be, the home field advantage, more excitement. There'll be more people actually in this country believing that they can actually do it, So that home field advantage, I think, is going to really help USA, especially against Belgium.
I'll go with Belgium. I don't know if you're gonna back here, Elliot, but I think Belgium is gonna find a way.
I think the USA could do it, but I don't think they will. I think it's possible. I think it's not beyond the realm of possibility that they could beat this Belgian team. I don't believe that. I just don't know if they quite have enough. And I don't know.
But does Belgium have enough though? That's the thing.
And I think that's why it's tricky, because I think Belgium. Yeah. What Belgium has, I suppose, more so kind of like what we were talking about with one of the other matchups, is Belgium do have more experienced players kind of playing at a higher level. I mean, I know the USA does have a lot of players throughout Europe as well, but if I had to pick, I would pick Belgium personally, but I do not think that it's beyond. I mean, I think it's possible that the USA could beat them if they come up against each other, but I think I'm gonna have to maybe play it a little bit more safe and go with Belgium. Portugal against Egypt.
I think Portugal would take. I mean, I think the Portuguese are gonna work as hard as possible to help secure this World Cup for their superstar player. So, I mean, I think the Portuguese team is great. Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic number 10. Obviously you have Ronaldo as number 9. Your midfield, you have Venita, right? Sorry, Venita, yes. You have Pedro Neto on the side. You have João Felix who's scoring, and in Saudi, you have Leal. So I mean, this Portuguese team is pretty good. I know Ronaldo gets all of the looks and all that, but they have some very good players on this Portuguese team. So I think, and I do think the factor that this is Ronaldo's last one is gonna factor in heavy on Portugal this time, and I think they're gonna push forward.
Unfortunately for the Pharaohs, Portugal.
Yeah. I think so too. I agree. I don't think we need to debate this next one very much. Argentina and Turkey. I think probably we are all going to be in agreement with Argentina.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Argentina. Yep. Lionel Messi.
All right, so then...
And Enzo Fernandez.
This would be our quarterfinals. France against Morocco. I think that could be a great one, but I do think France are just... They're just too strong.
Here's what I would say, though. There's one thing about France. We always do this. France always has goes in with the best squads, but they never play. Like, they sit back a lot and they count with Mbappe and all that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Morocco went to the semifinals last time too, and they got kicked out by France. So they're gonna, if this was to happen, there would be something from the Moroccans like, okay, this is what happened last time. This is what we can do this time. You know, it. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna. I know I'm gonna back my. I'm gonna say Morocco. Morocco will beat France if this was to happen.
Yeah, I will go with Morocco too. Thank you, Cainan. I'm glad that we have it back. I think France. Yeah, I think Morocco is gonna probably park the bus, and like you were saying, Cainan, like France doesn't really play out for some reason. They just sit back and then counter attack. But we'll see what happens. But I really think Morocco, if that's the game that will happen, I think Morocco's gonna go to semifinals here, and that'd be really great.
Well, I would have said France, but I guess I'm outvoted, so we will be choosing Morocco. And we'll be. I mean, I think this is another one that's like, it's not impossible. I think Morocco is a fantastic team, and I think they definitely could beat France. We'll go with it. Spain against Belgium.
I'll go with Spain.
I think we'll probably all go with Spain here.
España.
Brazil against England. Now I'm going to use I'm going to vote with my head and not my heart, and I honestly think Brazil is a better team than us at this point in time. I think this is probably where the World Cup ends for us, and if we, I don't know, I
think at this stage of the tournament, you're gonna look at the Brazilian players and like, what I don't know. It's because England's good too. Like, but I think the issue is for a lot of us is that they are not taking their superstar players. You take a look at Brazil; they have their superstar players. With the exception of probably João Pedro or whatever. But it's, I don't know. I think I probably have to give it to Brazil just because I just don't know if England's gonna have enough at this point of time. I don't know. I mean,
I'll go with Brazil.
I think what you've alluded to earlier, Cainan, as well, about the climate and the conditions. I mean, that's certainly going to favor Brazil in this instance.
And the passion. I mean, the passion. Like you're in the Americas. This is event. You're going to have more Brazilian fans there than England fans.
Yeah. All right, Brazil it is. And then, oh my goodness, Portugal and Argentina. Messi, Ronaldo, final showdown.
Can you imagine if this was to actually happen?
I mean, if this if this is actually what it's going to end up being, this would be a must-watch game.
Honestly,
Portugal, Ronaldo.
I think if this was to happen, I think I'd have to give this one to Portugal, man. I don't know. I just don't know if. I mean, obviously, yes, every player wants I think the hunger is going to be there more for Portugal than Argentina, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Portugal is good.
I think we've seen over the last few years too. It's incredibly difficult to defend a World Cup title. Like, it's just not something that's happened. I'm trying to even remember the last time a team successfully defended their World Cup title. I'm not sure.
That was back in the
Brazil
60s or 70s.
No, didn't Brazil do it in 2000?
I think maybe Brazil did it in the 70s or the 80s. We can fact check that, but it's been a significant amount of time since a team has gone back to back. So I'm happy to go with Portugal as well. I think they've got a very solid squad, and I think Argentina.
It's going to be a very good game.
I think it looks like Italy did it in 1934, 1938, and Brazil 1958 and 1962. So two teams did it.
Okay, so it was the 1950s and 60s was the last time it's happened. Wow. Yeah. So there we go. I think that then that's kind of the statistically we can't really back Argentina to go all the way this time. So that leaves semifinals of Morocco versus Spain. Of course, two of the joint hosts of the 2030 World Cup playing against each other in a semi-final. I'd go with Spain personally, but what do you guys think?
Man, this is a good one. Again, it's Morocco, the last World Cup, what they did. Morocco, they did a great job the last World Cup, but Spain's got amazing players. They have an amazing way to play. Oh man, it's hard. You know what? I think Morocco. I think Morocco. I think they're gonna be able to get a few counterattacks in on Spain, and they're gonna do damage. So let's go Morocco.
I'm gonna vote like Kent Elliott did. I'm gonna go with my vote with my head instead of my heart. Unfortunately, as much as I want Morocco to go and win the whole thing, I think Spain has a lot of firepower, and they're gonna go to the final.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Spain as well. To be honest, I think it would be amazing if Morocco become the first African team to make a World Cup
Mhm.
final. I, unfortunately for them, don't see it happening. So I'd go with Spain. Right, this one is going to be I think a very difficult one to predict. Brazil against Portugal. My, wow.
Whew, that's gonna be a good one. That was to happen. I mean, you take a look at Brazil, you take a look at a team that I think if you look at like both stacked teams, Brazil has an amazing attack. We don't really talk too much about their defense. Um, we also Casemiro, we'll see how he has what World Cup he has in the middle of the field. Again, I mean, I just you take a look at this Portuguese team. They got talent all over the field. They also got players who are still playing at that level. Not that Brazil isn't. I just think Portugal's just got a little bit more on them right now. And again, I still think it's that the factor and that, the Ronaldo factor is still there too. His last one. So I'm gonna say Portugal.
Okay, Christian.
I'll go with Portugal. I think it's gonna be a big heartbreak for Brazil, but I think I'm gonna go with Portugal.
Won't be 7-1
Interesting.
though.
Interesting. I probably would have picked Brazil. I think partly because of Ancelotti. I mean, just proven that he can do it. But again, I mean, I'm outvoted, so it doesn't really matter at this point. So we are looking at a Spain versus Portugal final. Again, I
Wasn't
think
this a final just the other day? It wasn't the
Yeah, it
Nations
was
League
for the
final.
Nations League final. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Nations League final. That's right. Yeah, which Portugal ended up winning, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I
So
think if you Spain, I think Spain in this situation has the better players, but I think Portugal has more experience. Um, so I mean, obviously Spain will have a lot more of the ball. It's going to come down to how well can Portugal defend. And I think the one thing that Portugal does have though is, and it's sort of cool when you have a striker that you can send the ball into where I'm not saying everything's gonna where he's gonna be able to do something on the ball, either bring it down and wait or get a header in, obviously in Ronaldo. You have Bruno Fernandes who we've seen when he plays as a number 10, he can find passes very easily amongst the field. So, but Spain, they're an amazing team. You got Yamal, you have hard one. But I think narrowly, Portugal might just take it again, just with the experience that they have. Um,
okay, I would have said Spain, to be honest. Personally, I just think that they're probably the strongest national team. European champions. Um, I could see it going either way for sure, though. But
yeah.
if I had to pick, I'd pick Spain. So I guess Christian, you're the deciding vote here.
I'm gonna be. I mean, I don't think he's biased. Even though I'm a huge Ronaldo fan, I would love him to win the World Cup. I think I'm gonna pick him. I'll pick
Yeah.
Portugal, just because you know Portugal has been doing a better job the past few World Cups than Spain, and I think it's the turn. Portugal has a really good team, guys. I think people are underestimating this team. If you look at that team, like I think that's the best Portuguese team ever. I really believe on paper. If you look at all the previous editions of the World Cup, like this team is stacked with play with talent. You know, Vitinha, like wow, that team is stacked. So I think this is the year. If we, as long as those two teams go to the final, obviously, I think Portugal win.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Then
even if the bracket doesn't go this way, I think Portugal's going to make a really they just have too good of a team not to make a deep run into this tournament. And
yeah,
can you imagine though? The debate would never end. Who's the GOAT, Messi or Ronaldo? If this was to happen.
and I mean, I think they are both. We have to say, like, Messi is very deserving of winning a World Cup. Ronaldo is equally as deserving of being a player who's won a World Cup as well. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
that's probably the one trophy that's missing from Ronaldo's career that would kind of complete the set almost.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm often amazed at how often, like Christian said, how often people don't look at the Portuguese team, and I mean, they are stacked. From
Mm-hmm.
attack to defense. Their goalkeeper is amazing. I mean, I wouldn't want to play against Portugal if I'm any other country right now. So, it, yeah, go
I think
Portugal.
they definitely they definitely have what it takes to go all the way for sure. So there we go. That is our pick. Our pick for the 2026 World Cup winners is Portugal. We will see how good of a prediction that is or how wrong of a prediction that is in the coming weeks. But that is what we're going to go with. Cool. All right. Well, I think that it's about from as we're recording, it's about a week until the games start. The opening game of the tournament is Mexico against South Africa, I believe. Does that sound right? Yeah, Mexico against South Africa on June the 11th. Looking forward to it. I think it's going to be interesting. Obviously, this is more teams competing in this World Cup than we've ever had before. It'd be the biggest World Cup that we've seen. So, and I definitely do think there will be some surprises. Yeah, excited to see how it goes.
Absolutely. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have, I think we're gonna have three opening ceremonies actually. One in Mexico, one in USA, and one in Canada. That's gonna be real fun. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very fun. This World Cup's gonna be amazing. The one in 1994. Oh, I wasn't born, but apparently I heard it was very good. So you'll see if we can do just as good as a job as hosting it. I think it's also going to be a great opportunity for fans around the world to see that soccer in the United States has grown.
Well, there we go. That's our prediction for the World Cup. It's going to be an exciting one. We're looking forward to it for sure. And yeah, can't wait for it to get started. Want to thank Cainan. Thank you so much for being here. It's been great to have you with us. Appreciate your insights and input, and we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Cainan. That was really great.
Yep, from all of us here at the JCMoseley FC podcast, we hope you all enjoy the World Cup, and we are excited to debrief how it all goes with you later this summer.
Enjoy the World Cup.